Hey everyone, it's Alex, and today we're talking about Supergiant and whether or not Supergiant is good. Is Supergiant worth your hard-earned tokens and your spotlight keys? We'll be discussing all that. We're going to be discussing decks, we'll be showcasing some amazing gameplay highlights, and of course, some synergistic cards worth considering. Right off the top, I actually came away pretty impressed with Supergiant. I liked it a lot more than I expected. The main reason for this was because while I was like deck crafting, I was thinking to myself, I want to embrace the offensive side of the card. Now, we understand the defensive side, and I'll talk about some key defensive pieces, but you can't always rely that you're matching against the exact deck that you want to counter. Like, oh, look at that. They're playing a leech-based deck. I'm going to get that leech on turn 5. Or, oh, look at that, right? They're playing Jane Foster. Got him, right? You're not going to want to build a deck around like just making sure that you can counter your opponent's plays all the time. That's what Sarah Control's for, and this will probably end up in Sarah Control too. But what I'm trying to say is, if we can come up with very useful offensive uses of this ability, I feel like then all of a sudden, that's where the gravy is, and everything else is just a bonus. The defensive attributes is a bonus point to the fact of you using this offensively and then having to mess up their play too. So that was my deck building philosophy, and I made some absolute cooks. I'm so excited to show you guys. The highlights are wild and the decks are completely wild too, so I'm really excited to showcase to you. But overall, came away impressed with Supergiant. I like the card. I don't think it's like completely meta breaking right now by any means. I think a big part of that is ironically Alioth keeping it in check, because Alioth will destroy unrevealed cards. And the synergy with Alioth seems like it might be bugged. It's not like deleting all the cards on turn 6, depending if it's on the Absorbing Man location. I don't know if that's an intended feature. Time will tell. But anyways, let's talk about whether or not you should spend your tokens. I am going to firmly say that although I think the Supergiant seems like it's definitely a worthy Series 5 card, it's definitely a really interesting card, it definitely has power potential, I still think it's always worth holding on to your spotlight keys, holding on to your tokens, and waiting towards the end of the week to ensure that you can see how the meta shakes up, what kind of decks it ends up playing in, and what the overall win rates and performance looks like before committing your resources, okay? But overall, I come away pretty impressed with the card. It's not blowing me out of the water the way like Legion did or some other cards did, but it's good. I found it to be pretty good. So let's talk about some key synergistic cards. We're going to have a couple cards that work well from a combo perspective. Now, one of the ones that people really want to talk about is Alioth. Of course, Alioth being the one that like deletes the cards. But in my testing, what I was experiencing with, if you play Supergiant on turn 4, you play Absorbing Man on turn 5, and then you play Alioth to delete that lane, the Alioth lane will delete the cards from turn 6. But the Absorbing Man will only delete the cards from turn 5. Now that's a little counterintuitive, because I would expect Alioth to destroy all unrevealed cards. That's not really what happened in testing. It ended up just not destroying all the cards. So the result was like, okay, so it seems buggy, but maybe they made that change to prevent it being from being too completely mind-bogglingly broken, right? So time will tell whether or not that is an intended effect. I'm sure someone's going to ask the Q&A, and so I'll provide an update later in the week, or on the Snapchat or whatever, when we discuss some future decks as well. But a very interesting interaction right off the top of the Alioth. But another synergistic card, which I really liked in deck build around, was Taskmaster. The idea of playing Supergiant into Taskmaster on turn 5, and then Taskmaster copying the power of any card that comes after is huge, and I based a couple of my decks off of that, so I thought that interaction was pretty damn cool. Conversely, you can do Supergiant into Absorbing Man, and then what you can do is on turn 6, you can play Mystique, right? And, sorry, not Mystique, you could play a card like a 3-cost card if Zabu's on the board, and Shang-Chi, right? A lot of the Zabu-based decks are, 2/4 drops on turn 6. If Absorbing Man sits behind a Supergiant, it'll pick up on the Shang-Chi play. That was the last card played. So as long as you play Shang-Chi last on turn 6, you'll Shang-Chi one lane and you'll Shang-Chi another lane. I think that's super useful. It's actually a more elegant way to do like what was kind of being tried with Grandmaster to some degree. Then you also have the Mystique play, which is interesting about Mystique is you Supergiant and then you Mystique, and then Mystique will copy whatever ongoing ability is played on turn 6, whether it be a Devil Dinosaur or Ronin or whatever, okay? Really interesting. Now, from the counter perspective, it's detrimental. You play Supergiant on turn 4. It destroys Sarah. It destroys Nimrod because the order of play gets messed up. Black Bolt no longer procs for stature. Jane Foster no longer pulls the Beta Ray Bill or the Thor hammers, so very disruptive. And overall, I like the idea of having offensive and defensive capabilities, but if you can make it work, if you can make Supergiant work from an offensive perspective. It only serves to amplify your snap ability when you get them on the defensive side too, right? So that's kind of my design philosophy. And Black Swan will have a video for tomorrow. At the time of recording, it was a 2-3 and just got changed back to a 3-5 as intended. Anyways, here are the decks. First, we started with Super Control, and this deck was kind of, and I made a couple different versions of this. The idea behind this was to just get initiative, hold initiative, and use Alioth to its maximum capabilities. Martyr, Lizard, and others are all about gaining initiative, and then what you can do is you can use the Supergiant into Absorbing Man into Dr. Doom. Double Doom procs, right? Conversely, you can use Supergiant Supergiant Absorbing Man into Alioth, and this is where the bugginess was happening, or I don't know, it might be intended. So this one's going to have to be shelved for now until we find out if the interactions with Alioth and Absorbing Man are in fact what they intend for Supergiant, and time will tell. But here was my initial brew for a type of Super Control. I really like this deck. Super Green Giants. Now, again, time will tell if this will outperform a standard high evolutionary based deck with Leech in it. This one here, what it does is it's pretty cool. For instance, it has obviously the attack vector on this deck is you have your general kind of like high Evo stuff. But on turn 4, what you can do is you can play Supergiant on turn 4, Taskmaster on turn 6, and then you can drop your Hulk. And then what happens is your Hulk might be all juiced up, and because Supergiant's an end of game trigger, the Hulk will still float energy and get that pop up. So if it's on turn 7 because you played Magic, Hulk will still gain +2 for floating energy, and then Taskmaster will copy the final Hulk result. So it could be like 22 power if you've played Magic and been floating the whole game. I'm going to be experimenting more with Super Green Giants. I like this deck. I actually think there might be an opportunity to cut the Magic, cut the Infinite, and do something a little different. I'm still working on this. So this is a test right now, and I honestly found it pretty successful. It gave you an additional couple lines where you would usually you'd run someone like a Shocker, right? You cut Shocker, you cut someone like the cuttable cards of this. Leech ironically gets cut here because obviously I'm playing in Supergiant more often during the week. And so now I felt this deck had a lot of potential, and I'm going to continue testing it. So keep an eye out for this. I do think that Super Green Giants has some interesting play patterns. And again, it's Supergiant into Taskmaster, and then whatever you play last at the end of the game, whether it be Infinite or the Hulk, depending on what your turn situation is, it'll actually pick up on that, which is great. And I have a lot of gameplay examples from this deck. And then we brewed spicy. This is one of my favorite brews I've done in a while. Very similar to a tournament deck that I brought all the way back to New York, Creator Clash. A very interesting deck. And what this does is it's super invisible. It's basically using as much invisibility triggers as I could to hide as much power as I could and make it so my opponent could not really figure what I was doing. Guys, I've never gained cubes faster in my career. I almost got to infinite in like a couple hours, and I only had to stop because I had to do my family stuff, and I was cruising with these super invisible decks, and they are susceptible to Alioth. Be very wary of lockdown decks that traditionally run Alioth because you're running a lot of invisibility effects. But the idea behind this deck, and I have another one I want to show you that's a little bit of a different splash, is you've got Invisible Woman and Supergiant, both of which create these invisibility effects. Now, a card like Attuma, it does not die at the end of the game. It only dies at the end of the turn. So if you play Supergiant and Attuma will survive even if it's with other cards. Conversely, if you play Invisible Woman Attuma, it'll survive. If you play Invisible Woman and then turn 3 Ebony Maw, you can continue playing cards on top of the Ebony Maw. If you play Armor and then you play Attuma, it won't die. If you play Supergiant and Spider-Woman's going to sit there waiting for more cards to fill into that location and then pump it, right? It's just really cool. And I like the idea of playing like Maximus, Titania. If you play Titania last, it never bounces over because it's an end of game trigger, right? Because if you Supergiant and you drop like Maximus and Titania in a location where Titania is the last one, Maximus will reveal, give them the 2 cards at the end of the game, which doesn't matter. And then Titania is there too. That's 3 energy for 11 power. The verticality of this deck was insane. I loved it. And you're going to see it in the gameplay highlights. I loved this deck. It's one of the best brews I've done in a while. No one knew what the hell I was doing. Everyone I played against was like, I literally don't understand what this guy's doing. I won so many cubes by taking them by surprise. We tried a slight variation of that deck, and I'm not sure which one was better. I kind of might have liked the original one better, but this was Super Invisible Sauron, and what it was basically a Sauron shell using not Magneto. It actually has Magneto still, but Red Skull, Typhoid Mary, Enchantress. You have the Sauron, which makes better use of Ebony Maw later in the game. And again, you have the Invisible Woman triggers as well with Supergiant. And the key thing here is, again, just hiding immense amount of power. You know, Maximus not giving cards because it's behind Invisible Woman or Supergiant. Them not knowing that, oh, that's a Red Skull that's going to be sitting behind the Invisible Woman or on the Supergiant location. Not knowing that you've zeroed a Lizard, or even if you didn't zero Lizard. There's so many play patterns here which were really, really fun. The other one I think played a little easier, but this one had more outs. This one had a much more consistent play style because of the Sauron into the Sauron based cards, right? So really, really liked what this deck was doing. Ultimately, though, I gotta tell you, I came away impressed with Supergiant. I really do think that this card is worth considering. If you have a big collection of Spotlight Caches, it's probably worth adding to your collection. For everyone else, I do think that you should wait till the end of the week to determine whether or not it's worth your hard-earned resources, considering its win rate, its deck usage, and etc. Okay, guys, amazing deck highlights are coming right now. They're recorded live on Twitch. I got a link to my Twitch down in the description if you're not joined already. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. More than half the people that watch these videos are not subscribed. I love you guys. I'd love if you subscribe and hit the like button if you'd like to support my content. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy these gameplay highlights. I'm gonna prevent them from destroying anything here. Ha, my thoughts exactly. Playing Destroy Thanos? Wow. No way they expected that. Okay. The advantage to playing a deck that's so heavily brewed is that they have no idea what the hell I'm doing. It's a tricky play. I could do this. Here, let's do this. So now that location's stuffed. That's probably not what they wanted. Yeah, that's a paddling. Titania can't bounce over. It's a lot of power, man.
Such is my judgment.
Tribunal never beats us. Thanos comes flying out here of Lockjaw. Galactus? That was a pretty cool game. Victory. But you can see how this deck puts up tremendous power, right? Like, it's all about massive stats and hiding the stats. And like, I actually really like this deck because like our opponent has no friggin' clue what's happening. They have no idea what's happening. They don't know how to like deal with the amount of power we're putting up. Just in this right location, we added insane power with 0 Atuma Maximus, right? So we can Supergiant Absorbing Man on curve, which is exactly what we kind of want to do here. Of course, it's Adolin, which is an absolute joke. I could get rid of Adolin. I think I do. I think we go off tempo. We go Supergiant Absorbing Man still, because the Doctor Doom's too good here. I think we want to keep this hand.
Wind, aid my hand.
Supergiant Absorbing Man. So this is the core, one of the core combos here. We play out the Absorbing Man. Wow, they actually went for a bit of a pop off there. My order. Order in the court, damn it! We can still play the Mojo, but it has to be in this order. But we could still play Alioth there and copy it there. I think this is always Doctor Doom. We have initiative. We do this. Does this just win? Like theoretically, I'm prepared to do double doom, but we have initiative. This blows up this. This will reveal first, blow this up. I think this is a guaranteed win. Yeah, people are going to be sick of this pretty fast. Yeah.
Victory.
Yep, as I suspected. We got ourselves a dirty combination here. That's filthy as hell. Is their name the Pickler in weird font? What the hell? How'd they do that with the font? Did you guys see that? I'm gonna play the armor here. This doesn't benefit us. Okay, Zabu Rock Slide. I think I actually put her here. Because I don't want this hood coming over and it's just stuck there now. But this defeats the... We don't have our Taskmaster. Yeah. Float 3. They have to play here. It's give mid, don't play Cyclops, go 6 up here. Drop this. This could win. You have to play the rock to prevent Void from coming. I think this is the best chance, but we could lose here. Wow. Okay. Lad? Okay. Okay. Annihilus? Wow, interesting win with Supergiant there. That's not really what the deck wanted to do. But I wonder, I have to think about it. I wonder if it was disruptive to their play. Like, I wonder if their play actually got disrupted by that. We snap back for 8. I'm still working on the play patterns in my head, so if I misplay, I apologize. Conduit, you're gonna see what she does in this deck right here. So you play Supergiant on turn 4. Okay. I'm gonna play Taskmaster on turn 5 into Sinister London. We're live working on this deck here. That allows us to play Hulk into the Sinister London after. But that has to be the last. We have to finish with Hulk, though. That's the thing. Hulk has to be the last thing we play, or Infinite's the last thing we play. What Supergiant does is locks in Taskmaster's value as achieving the last card played. And when you have monsters like Hulk and Infinite, it's not only disruptive for your opponent, but it's super, super strong. Now, they do have a Reality Stone, so we might have to drop Hulk right off the top and then consider floating into energy next. They can't Reality Stone now, but they can Reality Stone next turn. If they play into Lockjaw this turn, Limbo always remains. If they don't play into Limbo, so they're reserving the right, so they are reserving the right to play Reality Stone. So in this case, we do play Hulk now. And then we probably just hard float next turn. We have to respect Reality Stone here, but I don't think they're prepared for the amount of damage we're going to put out. It's against Thanos. You believe that they're going to get rid of it, right? We gain a lot of extra power playing Hulk here. We never skip. We never skip this turn. It's play Hulk, and then we could even consider playing She-Hulk next turn if we need to. But that's going to be a net loss of power. This is Reality Stone? Yeah, see? So we played it correctly, I believe. We made the right choice. Let's see what happens here with the rotation. Wave. Okay, Shang-Chi's a big play there, but probably should have considered... I think we actually win. Very straightforward here. You're going to see what our deck does here. So Hulk Smash. Hulk Smash. Watch this. They played their Supergiant. We pick up there. Right? We actually lose just barely by 1 on that side. Crazy. Wow. We low rolled left by 1. A very unfortunate loss like that, but like our deck still did the thing that it had to do. It's unfortunate though that they were able to trade a Shang-Chi left, and then this card went left as well. The deck's really good. I'm not sure if this version is better than the other one though. Wow. Wow, wow. Look at that Okoye. P. Drax, thank you so much for the tier 1, for supporting my content. Thank you so much. We actually have Supergiant here. Skillmonger, Big Sad. Hub Death. We should be able to win Atlantis. Ooh. See, Magneto draws multiple cards into Atlantis, and we might be able to actually trade it. Oh my god. Do you guys hear that? My kids are playing with my stereo. Did you guys just hear that? Did you guys just hear the wheels on the bus? That's what I got to deal with, man. I'm trying to make a video. Oh! So we lose. Oh, it's Maximus. What's this card? Shadow King? Oh, we win tiebreaker. No way. Let's go. The wheels on the bus go round, baby. That's it. So this is going to be 0 into 0 Ebony Maw. Actually, Ebony Maw will be zeroed on the cloning vats. So we want to snap here. The replicated Ebony Maw will have the 0 effect applied. We could also play 0 into the Gladiator, but I think we want to use it here. I think I'd rather use Gladiator. It's unlikely they have a large enough card. I think I want to pump them a bit. Nah, we keep playing this Ebony Maw, I think. They're not going to play a card that destroys the... They're not playing Skillmonger with a Dazzler. I respect the Bass gameplay, I do. We get trolled here. Oh my god. What the fuck? This game. This game has absolutely no chill. Oh my god. I feel bad for him. Like, what are you supposed to do? The worst part is I have an Iron Lad Atuma. Oh my god. What a disaster. What a game, man. Okay. They're playing like a bro? I respect this. I respect this gameplay. I still think we Ebony Maw here again. And we Atuma Titania. We're going to hold initiative here and have extra energy anyways. Nah, we don't do that. I think we do, actually. I think we got to reach here. No, we do it the other way around. It's Titania here. No, she might bounce. No, we reveal at the end of the game. We reveal at the end of the game. So he'll reveal last. It's this. It's this. It's this. Plays 0. Oh, no, I did it wrong. I did the wrong order. My order's wrong. I might troll myself. Let's do this. It's a weird-ass game. They stayed in it, though. What's this turn 5 play that they did? What? I respect it. I respect that they stayed in. I don't know what their plan was.